What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Blades with Bill. Today we're going to do a full review on the Spyderco Native 5. Now this one is the GP Knives exclusive in Rex45. Just go over some of the specs real quick, and then we'll go up top and I'll give you my thoughts on it. We have an overall length of 6.95 inches. The blade is 2.95 inches with a cutting edge of 2.42 inches, and the handle is 4 inches long. It is a lockback. It's the Spyderco Not Deep Carry Pocket Clip. With this, since this is a Native 5 lightweight, we do have FRN handle scales that are bi-directional textured. Spyderco lightweights aren't going anywhere in your hand. You do have the thumb hole, or the traditional spider hole. You can reverse flick it. It does take a little more effort than most Spydercos, but it's not running on bearings or washers, so that would be why. That and the lock being a lockback makes it stiffer. Let's go up top and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Give you my thoughts on the Native 5. Now, like I said, this is the GP Knives exclusive in Rex45. But as far as the Native 5 itself goes, because there's nothing different besides the blade steel for this, it's a great knife. Ergos are great, whether you want to hold it up here and get your finger up in the toil, go back here. However you want to hold this knife, it feels great in hand. The pocket clip isn't an issue. I don't know what a G10 version of this knife would feel like, but as far as the lightweight goes, I have no problem with it. Now the regular ones do come with S30V, but you can also get, Spyderco being Spyderco, they make a bunch of different exclusives for different online retailers. There was one that was for Blade HQ that was a mint green handle with M4 blade steel. I know I've seen, it's not an exclusive, a couple different places have it, but you can get in either the G10 or the lightweight version S110V on a Native 5. So Spyderco does do a lot of different steels with this knife. It's not their most popular EDC knife. Most people would rather go for the PM2 or a Para 3. The PM2 I have. The Para 3 I've never actually held, but if I ever get a chance to, well, I'll let you know what I think of it. As far as this goes, I'm sure that a lot of people kind of overlook this, even though it's funny because it's overlooked, but it's not overlooked. It is Spyderco, so there are a number of people who buy this. There are a bunch of different versions of the Native 5 out there. Like I said, it's exclusives, different color handles, whatever. The reason why it's an exclusive for different online retailers, it's essentially the same knife. And it's great. It really is. Nice and lightweight. For a almost 7-inch knife total, this weighs 2.45 ounces. So it's less than an ounce per inch of blade, because the entire blade is 2.95. So it's rather light knife. You have a strong lock and a lock back. It's a Spyderco, so it's a phenomenal knife. I have no issue with Spyderco. I think they do a great job on almost everything. Like I said, the PM2, it's a personal thing. I have used it. I've carried it. I'm not really a fan of the way it feels in hand. I don't know. For some reason, I just can't find a way that I feel comfortable using it. But I do have it. I use it for size comparisons because a lot of people do have a Para 2 or PM2. But I know a lot of people have Native 5s, but I also know that it's rather overlooked in the Spyderco world because they have PM2, the Para 3, the Mannix, the Shaman, the Smock. There's all these different ones that are massively looked for. The PM2 and the Para 3 are the easiest to find. Besides this, the Shaman and the Smock and, well, the Mannix is easy to find, but the Shaman and the Smock are not easy knives to find sometimes. Sometimes they're some of the hardest Spydercos to find that are not super crazy one-offs or expensive Spydercos that some are out there. Would I recommend this knife? Obviously, yes, I would. It is a perfect size. In my mind, it's a perfect size for an EDC knife. It's great. It really is. If you have a chance to get to GP Knives and pick this up, when I got this was probably one of, if not the cheapest, one of the cheapest Native 5s out there. And it's a blade steel that this is going to outperform S30 V by a long shot. And when I got this, I ended up sharpening it to 16.5 degrees on both sides. And since then, I haven't had to do much of anything to it. And I have tried, because I don't know that much about Rex45, so I wanted to see exactly kind of what it would be able to take. So I've just been using it for what I consider normal everyday stuff, which I have 3 little girls, and we end up buying a lot of food in bulk, and we have a lot of cardboard. So not only do I get packages in cardboard, but I get their food. A lot of stuff that we get for them is in a cardboard box. Well, to make stuff fit more, I end up cutting down cardboard to just get it to fit in the trash and stuff easier, recycling. So basically, I took all the cardboard that we use, and I do that all the time. Before I started doing this, whatever knife I was carrying is what got used. Now that I'm doing this, if I haven't tried the blade steel out before, like with this, I'm definitely going to use this more for stuff like that so that I can find out about this blade steel. I've stropped it since sharpening it and using it for, altogether probably about a week and a half. Cutting down cardboard to get it to fit into the recycling, or to reduce the amount of stuff in the recycling, basically not have soot. Just makes it smaller. But and all I've done is strap it a couple of times. I really have no issues with this Rex45 or the Native 5. Like I said, I'm a big Spyderco fan. I have a number of different Spydercos. And even though that this is not necessarily the most fidget-friendly Spyderco out there, because Lord knows the ones with the ball lock, like the Mannix, and then the compression lock, like the PM2 and Para 3s, are way more fidget friendly. Like I said, I can reverse flick this knife. It just takes a little more effort. I have to make sure that I actually remember which Spyderco is in my hand and actually flick it hard enough. But that's mostly because of the lock. It is not an easy thing to do, and it's not like it's a thin piece of steel back there for the lock bar. It's a rather thick lock bar. So, like, the Salt 2 that I have, which is kind of like a Delica, I had no issue. Almost as soon as I got that knife, I was able to reverse flick it. This one, like I said, if I remember what I'm doing and which one I'm flicking, it's not a problem. But it's a great EDC knife, it really is. And if you've never tried a Spyderco, because you look at most of them and go, that's got to be excessively uncomfortable in pocket, this is not that. Yes, you still get the Spidey hole, but it's not out to here from the handles of the blade, or handles of the knife. So you really don't have this crazy size. It's not anything bigger than most EDC pocket knives, but it's a Spyderco. And again, maybe I'm a little biased. I've never had a single issue with any of the Spydercos that I have. My Tenacious is one of my favorite knives for the fact that, yeah, it's 8CR, so it's easy to get to a fine edge, and it's going to lose it faster than some other things, but it still does more than well enough for me to be able to use on an everyday. So, again, if you haven't tried a Spyderco because you think they look crazy and like gas station knives, try Native 5. Try finding one of the ones that's more like this, because there's this, and the Efficient is one that's rather small, like one of their 8CRs that again gives you this kind of profile where you don't have a huge amount of blade sticking out from the handle. So definitely recommend Spyderco. And again, if you have a chance to go to GP Knives and pick up this version of the Native 5, I would do it. Especially if you're like some people that I've seen who are complete collectors of Native 5s and have almost every single version. If you don't have this one, because the only one they have left is the satin blade and they don't have the black coated one, buy this one anyway. Worth it. So, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell so that you can be notified whenever I'm going to be releasing another video. You can follow me on Instagram at Blades with Bill. I swear I'm trying to get better at being on TikTok, which is also at Blades with Bill. Also on Facebook as Blades with Bill, and I have my own Facebook page, which is Blades with Bill. So feel free to follow me on my socials. Send me a message. Even if you just want to say hi. We can talk knives. So, have a great day. Stay safe. Peace.